On February 14, 1968, news of a new ROTC program began to emerge in Macomb, Illinois. The new program arranged for there to be 7 officers and 3 enlisted men. Of the 7 officers, the one to lead the curriculum would be none other than Colonel Leo W. Manning. Manning was once a former schoolteacher in Normal, Illinois prior to 1941. He achieved a Bachelor of Science from Illinois Wesleyan and studied at the graduate level at Illinois State. Western Illinois University's ROTC program first started out in Simpkins Hall. There, students thrived on leadership excellence, developing skills such as orienteering, rappelling, marksmanship, and other militaristic skills. The 1970s drew in an elite group of talented cadres such as Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell Corey, Lieutenant Colonel Lynn Coleman, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Peters, and Colonel Twilley. This decade saw the first commissioning class of Western, which occurred in May of 1970, with 15 cadets becoming second lieutenants. Not everyone felt the same about the military. On May 4, 1970, at Kent State University, the Ohio National Guard gunned down 4 students during the anti-Vietnam War protest. This sparked Western's very own student protest movement during the war. Approximately 1,000 students took over Simpkins Hall on May 4th. The peaceful protest lasted for 5 days and remained calm due to the efforts of President John Bernard, who sympathized with the students' need for a better representative student government body.
A peaceful demonstration, as there were in a lot of college campuses. ROTC had just started, and there was a group of students came in and took over the gymnasium. There was a gymnasium in the backside of Simpkins Hall because it was a high school when it was originally built. And so they pretty much peaceful demonstration. They didn't use tear gas or anything like that. It lasted, who knows, a day or two. Wasn't very long. They didn't do any damage to the building that I've been told. And so they just went in and they came out and they said what they wanted to say. They got some news coverage, probably was what they wanted. But it was interesting that ROTC actually started at Western Illinois, in 1969 or so, right during the middle of the Vietnam War. It probably wasn't an easy thing to do, but there was a lot of support from the university and from the outlying community, and so that's interesting.
While the program was off to a shaky start against the rest of the student body, a shift emerged in the 1980s following the leadership of Colonel Rayburn Stovall, Colonel Dale Schofield, and Lieutenant Colonel Robert Follis. At this time, Western saw doubled enrollment due to the program's rising success. Much of this program's success can be attributed to its outstanding cadre. The late Sergeant Major Charles B. Morris was the chief ROTC instructor here at Western. He was the recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, the military's highest decoration. On June 29, 1966, during the Vietnam War, Morris risked his life more than once. Morris was conducting a reconnaissance mission where he was shot in the chest by an enemy machine gun. Without hesitation, he hurled a grenade, taking out the enemy crew. Morris returned back to the platoon area to report what he had discovered. While giving his report, the platoon was attacked by the enemy. Morris refused medical treatment for his chest wounds and maneuvered his squad to a better position to return fire. The firefight lasted for 8 hours. During this time, Morris conducted first aid on the wounded and sustained several more wounds himself. His left hand was shattered, yet he still continued to fight and expose himself to enemy fire. As a result of his actions, he saved countless lives during and after the battle. This is the kind of cadre that the ROTC program provides for its cadets. The cadre is dedicated to creating cadets to become the military's best leaders of tomorrow. The program was finally able to have its first female to receive the cadet rank of Command Sergeant Major, Dorothy Cagley, a junior transfer student from Illinois State University. Cagley was given the rank due to her high cumulative and ROTC GPA, along with her peer and instructor ratings. Cagley was enrolled in the National Guard for 3 years prior to receiving her CSM rank. Cagley admitted that she had been discriminated against due to her gender, but said that people were more willing to accept those who did a good job. Cagley was commissioned in May 1981 as a military police officer and was first stationed at Fort Hood, Texas. She was named a distinguished military graduate from Western Illinois. During the time of Lieutenant Colonel Skaggs, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen Reinhardt, and Lieutenant Colonel Mark Larson in the 1990s, the program moved from the Simpkins Hall Gymnasium so that construction of a new recital hall could begin. The ROTC outfit was relocated and officially reopened in Horriban Hall in the early 2000s.
When I got here in 1997, the ROTC department was still in Simpkins Hall, and there was a plan to move down to Horriban Hall where they are located now. So during my time frame of 97 to 2001, they renovated a part of Horriban Hall, and then we moved down there, and then they turned the gymnasium and the ROTC part in Simpkins Hall into a recital hall, and that's what they use it for today.
By the time Lieutenant Colonels Michael Cumby, Stephen Rawson, and John Drew, and Colonel Thomas Seifert took charge as PMS, the program had received several honors and awards, such as the General Douglas MacArthur Award for Best ROTC Program in the Midwestern United States in 2001 and 2002, and Best ROTC Program in the Brigade from 2003 to 2006. Donna Conkler worked with the ROTC program for 24 years. Her role as a human resource assistant was one that did not go unnoticed. She played a major role in the commissioning of over 600 Army officers.
Donna Conkler, yes, Donna was there for many, many years. She was the go-to person. I mean, she knew all the cadets. She handled all their paperwork. If you can imagine, there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things to keep track of with cadets. And Donna was very good at it. And she was very friendly, always smiling. And so when you walked in there, and the students remembered her, always will remember her.
On June 10th of 2007, Donna passed away due to a long battle with cancer. Donna is said to have gone above and beyond her role in the office.
I first met Donna Conkler when she was working here in the ROTC program, and I was working around the corner in the EIS department. I'd often run into her in the hallways, and she would speak so fondly of the students and the cadets and the cadre members. So it was obvious that she really enjoyed her work, and she did make it known that she truly enjoyed what she was doing and that she felt like she was doing a vital role with her position. Also, likewise, I would hear students and cadre members in the hall speaking about Donna and how helpful she had been with them in making major decisions, or at least trying to guide them along their career paths that they are now enjoying, and how thankful that they have been for her. Several phone calls have come in since I've started working here, and more from the alumni about how wonderful Donna was, how caring she was, how compassionate was, and how willing she was to help guide them in any of their decisions.
Donna died in 2007, and I've always carried around a brochure of her memorial fund. Had a picture of her on the front and a way to donate on the back. It actually went to Afghanistan with me too. When I called and found out it hadn't been annuitized, I figured it was about time. I donated and then pushed around word that we needed to finish it. It turns out it took about 2 weeks to donate quite a bit of money. So I was very happy that we finally annuitized it.
To this day, the program provides many opportunities for cadets to get involved with and improve their skills as a leader through military doctrine that grants cadets experiences that they would have never gained otherwise. The ROTC program is still proudly part of the Leatherneck community and will continue to shine as an example of leadership to students on campus.